Some like it hot. Some like it hot. What's up, YouTubers?
Yeah.
This is Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. We are back in the studio. I am back in the studio. Robert is joining me with his fancy warden he has over here.
Wardens, thank you.
I said fancy wardens.
I thought you said warden. I got two.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I said fancy wardens.
Yeah. Quick shout out
to
Mason Maxwell.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll show him during the show also. But yeah, Mason Maxwell sent these over to me. Dyed the rims on these Glimmer Wardens. They're freaking sick. I haven't decided how I'm going to cross out AJ's name yet and write my own in, but I'll get back to you guys on that.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, this can't just be an AJ disc with AJ's name on it. Like, clearly I have to take his place as the founding member of Team Warden.
The founding member of Team Warden. Oh, sorry.
I literally made Team Warden.
You made it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't make it. I created it, and then other people made it.
Oh,
better.
So you're not even on the team?
Well, I am on the team.
Oh, okay.
I am on the team.
Oh, well, when you said I didn't make it, but I created it.
No, I didn't make it awesome like the people who threw Wardens make it awesome.
Oh, I gotcha.
I just made it a thing. But here we are.
And so you're going to cross out his name and just...
Well, yeah. But I don't know just how bad to mess him up yet because, it's AJ. You got to mess with him somehow.
I would take like a...
Whoops, wrong account.
What do they call it? Propane tank? I bet you could just... Yeah, it'd be just fine.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
Yeah. It shouldn't affect the flight at all.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, guys, so we are here with episode 323 of the Disc Golf Answer Man on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Emporia, Kansas. We are ready to talk about a lot of stuff and answer your disc golf questions. We're going to give a little bit of time to let YouTubers kind of pile in. What's everybody doing out in YouTube land? Any disc golf plans for National Disc Golf Day? I know my plan is to be moving into my new house. I know that there is a Trilogy challenge happening. What course is it happening on?
Soden's Grove.
Soden's Grove, that's right. Soden's Grove. Jackie Morris and Denise Cameron. I'm not sure if they're both running it or one of them are running it to raise funds for the Emporia Ladies Open. This will be the second annual event. So, ladies, if you're in the area and you want to play a ladies-only event, check out Emporia Ladies Open on Facebook. I can't remember the dates for that event. Do you remember the dates for that?
The Trilogy Challenge?
Ladies Open, the Emporia Ladies Open.
Oh, it's like October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, somewhere in there. Okay. Like that first weekend in October, I'm pretty sure. So
come on down to Emporia, have a fun time. Also, I believe they're doing the caddy element to it. Mm-hmm. So how that works is if you are a person that wants to be a caddy for someone, one of the ladies, you can pay, last time it was $25. I don't know if it's the same thing. But you pay, and then that money goes toward the event, and you can caddy for someone. You could pick the person you want to caddy for, or they'll randomly draw and put you as caddy duty on someone. I did that last year, had a fantastic time.
I will not be doing that this year.
Because?
I will probably be having a child.
You will caddy your wife as she...
Yes, that's correct.
As she is delivering your child.
That's true.
And that's probably a good idea to be a caddy for her during that time.
I should be there.
So, anyway. All right, so yes, you can find more information about Emporia Ladies Open, like I said, on Facebook, or go to Disc Golf Scene and just search for Emporia Ladies Open and get more info on that. What do we got on the YouTubes, Robert? What are people chatting about?
Well, we got a couple super chats. One just coming in from Chris Carpenter, $5.
Chris, you are the man.
Thanks, Chris. We appreciate that. You know what? I am personally going to take that $5 from the YouTube chat here and donate it to Bobby to help with his moving expenses, which are great and huge expenses.
I had to go buy a washer and dryer yesterday. Spent more money than I had intended to, but with the current situation, it's affecting everybody. They're like, we are selling out of them, and we can't get them back in stock. And it's going to be like 7 weeks before they get certain models back in stock.
Yeah. Did you end up getting the same one as us or different?
That was the one at when I went to Lowe's. They said that they were couldn't deliver it until end of August. And the ones I wanted, they wouldn't be in for another 7 weeks. So
that's stupid.
Anyway, so I appreciate the $5.
Yeah. I personally took it out and gave it to you.
I think.
And then Doc Zen, $2. He says, couple sweet bucks for the sweet tunes from Bobby.
Sweet tunes are coming for you. Remember, I have to kind of tone it down so we don't get a YouTube copyright strike because my representation of the songs are so spot on that we often get a hit on those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we've got to protect ourselves is what it comes down to.
It's my tone, really what it is. I'm just perfect tone.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes. Anything else going on YouTube?
There wasn't much, although I did see Tim say Team Warden was Robert's first child. That's true.
Excellent.
Let's see. Ace Ron's editing some footage. I've seen they've been out there doing some stuff.
Nice.
Couple of suggestions on how to remove AJ's name from these wardens, so we'll get to
Okay.
I'll save those and get to that later.
Also, I know it's early on, but if you're excited about the hot takes, and then you get even more excited when I bring on the hot takes, you are in store, because today is the day that I have a hot take. I did the minimalist of research and typed it up, and we should be good.
The minimalist of research.
All right, so you guys ready? We can hop into the questions and let people start filtering in, if that's good with you, Robert.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Did you hit record on that, Mr. Anthony? Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, back from Alaska. Disc Breeze, Daddy Breeze, whatever my name is. I don't even know my own name.
You're gonna want to work that out.
I'm
Before
gonna
you
work
start
that out.
next
Yes,
time.
let me figure that part out.
Yeah, cool.
No impromptu names ever again. So I'm here with Robert McCall.
Hey, what's up?
We're going to be here to answer your questions. I am back from Alaska, my awesome trip in Alaska. Thank you so much for Danny for filling in those few times, or a couple times that I was gone. And then Eric was there as well. Alaska was amazing. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dynamicdiscs, so you can watch that disc golf adventure video. I am very proud of it. I think it turned out really well. You're going to learn a lot about Meyer Lake and really how disc golf is really adding to, I'm excited about the prospect of disc golf adding to places like that, destinations like that, resorts and things like that. I think that makes a really cool adds a really cool aspect to places like that. So make sure you check that out on YouTube.
For sure. We've gotten an early look at that video. I'm going to tell you what. You guys are going to like it.
Yeah, you're going to like
it. It is good.
It is good. Let's see. Last weekend, did I play any disc golf? I did not play any disc golf last weekend. I hope to play maybe a quick round this weekend coming up if I have any time after moving in. I did get to go on a bike ride. That was fun. Good outdoor activities. Did you get to do anything, Robert?
Played golf once this weekend. Then we did a lot of stuff around the house. We're starting to get the nursery ready. We painted a dresser.
Sorry.
And it's just, I don't really have to go into it. It's just a long, drawn-out process that took much longer than it needed to. And
doesn't it always
resulted in a casualty in our carpet.
Yes.
So, but it happens, It happens. And let's be honest. If a baby is going to make that room its room, that probably won't be the last stain that gets on the carpet. So I think we're going to be just fine.
Now it'll be a while, but I think the craziest notion I've ever seen, and my brother did this, is that when his kids got old enough to pick up a crayon and start drawing, they let them just draw whatever they wanted on the wall.
Oh.
Knowing that they would just, once they were old enough and stopped doing that, they would just paint over it.
I'm in.
That's a little out there, but anyway. I mean, I'm not, no judgment here. No warden here. But that's a little out there.
It's true.
All right, so let's get into the disc golf questions. Guys, as always, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your disc golf question, and we will get it here on the air. This first one is from John. What would Yeezy do? No, probably just what would you do?
That's more likely.
Yeah, we're not talking Yeezy. If there was not a professional level in the sport, would you still be playing? John's been playing for over 40 years and couldn't stop it if he wanted to.
I mean, I think I would. That's one of the things that got me started was striving to play at the highest level that I could. And because that highest level existed, I knew that there was something better than what I was doing at the time. But when I started playing, I just loved it just because I loved it. Like getting to watch a disc fly and do stuff that I didn't expect it to before. Yeah, that's what I come back for. I like getting to compete. I like winning money sometimes. But at the end of the day, just throwing, that's what got me hooked, I think. What about you?
I mean, I don't play pro level, so it doesn't.
Well, right, but the pro level existing is part of the reason that you're here.
Oh, just because that's a fair point. Yeah, no, I don't know that I would be here if there wasn't a pro level, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad that those are pro level. So, Christian sent in a possible hot take, and the only reason I'm going to go ahead and read it now is because we've actually done this hot take and it was one of the hot takes I did, and it performed very, very well on the Nielsen. Was it Nelson ratings? Not the Nissan ratings. Nielsen ratings. Yeah. Yes, the Nielsen. Anyway. He said, I've got a question about tee order. As of now, we all know that the person with the best score on the previous hole gets top of the box on the next hole. I like the idea of the hole winner to choose his or her spot in the tee-off lineup. And he would love to hear our thoughts on it. Well, I can't remember how far back it is, but that is actually one of the hot takes was I was saying that that should not be the case, that you should be able to pick your order.
And I mean, I'd be good with that as well. I also like that it balances it out just a little bit. So if you got the best score on the last hole, then you don't just get wind reads from everybody every single time. But it's, for me, not a huge issue. Also, 99-cent super chat from Nolan Disc Golf. Thanks, Nolan.
Thank you, Nolan. This next one is from Tyler. Hey, guys, I love listening to the show. First question ever. Well, thank you, Tyler. In my bag, I have the Maverick and the Getaway. I love these discs. The Lucid Maverick turns and glides, great for woods and hyzer flips. My Lucid Getaway is domey and is great for those overstable shots. What disc is in between these? What is the EMAC, Truth of Fairways? I have an Escape, but it's so sneaky long for me. I consider it a hybrid distance disc. Boy, a lot of people think that too.
That's because it is.
Yeah, it has a lot of glide to it. Everything in everything in my bag is DD, and I would love to keep it that way, but there is not an 8-speed stable fairway driver in the DD lineup, at least not yet. What are you working on, Jeremy? Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to keep it real.
Tyler, I'm going to keep it real.
Oh, here it comes.
I can't really tell you about it.
I know, and I know what he's talking about, too.
But we are working on something. You will probably like it based on the description that you just listed below.
I know we like it.
Yes. In the meantime, I think you should throw Latitude 64 Explorer. I understand that you like keeping your bag all DD, and that's awesome. But the disc that right now fits in between a Maverick and a Getaway is an Explorer. It's a great disc. I love it.
All right, here we go. This one's from JD. This is MPO versus FPO courses.
Okay, let's do it.
This is a long one, but here we go. Hey guys, maybe a hot take, but I'm genuinely interested in y'all's opinions. Why is it we make such an emphasis on MPO and FPO playing the same courses of even layouts? Given the very different games the two divisions play, wouldn't it make more sense to utilize the same strategy as the PDGA and the LPGA? As the PGA and LPGA, and have the men and women play different courses / tours? Mm-hmm. I understand we're still growing as a sport and don't have the money / resources as ball golf to manage two separate tours, but do we need to start thinking in that direction for the future? I would love to see FPO on courses that suit their skill set better, so we're not making these direct comparisons, which are admittedly hard to avoid. They're doing some of it, but should the DGPT or the Disc Golf Pro Tour strive even harder to make a separate layout or utilize different courses for FPO? I want to see these women scorch courses the same way the men do. Love y'all's work to grow the sport.
Good question. So I think one of the reasons that this isn't very practical for disc golf right now is just the size that we are. The Disc Golf Pro Tour, puts all of its resources into making a tour sustainable for all touring professionals, not just men or women. And yes, I guess there would be some courses that you would consider to be more FPO friendly, but I'm not sure that course couldn't also be challenging for the MPO side as well. I like when they make kind of tee-pad changes for the FPO field, either by moving back a tee so that the ladies could play a par 4 instead of a long par 3 for the guys, or moving the tee forward and playing the hole in the same par as the MPO field. In an ideal world, it would be great to have a separate tour, but I like what the Pro Tour and the National Tour are doing in that they stay at the same venue, and it allows viewers to stick around. It allows spectators to stick around. That way you don't have to choose kind of what trip you're going to make or what video you're going to watch. You kind of get to stay with both groups at the same venue. So I like it for that. In an ideal world, it would be great for them to be separate. I just don't think we're quite there yet.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. And I would imagine, this isn't to knock what you said, JD, at all, but I would imagine this idea is something that the PDGA has already thought through.
Oh, sure.
whether it's, in other words, I'm sure they have certain projections that they think, or they can kind of estimate when this is even possible. But what I thought was interesting, I looked up real quick because I wanted to see the differences in a bigger sport, the difference between women's only and men. And the one I looked up is NBA versus the WNBA. And according to the stats from WSN, it says that in 2019, it is estimated that the WNBA generated approximately $60 million in revenue. That's a lot of money, right?
It is.
However, in 2018, the NBA's 30 teams generated $7.4 billion.
That's a little bit more.
There's a huge gap. I guess my point being is that there is a huge, even 60 million is a lot of money, and in a sport like basketball, there's such a huge gap. Then imagine that huge gap in disc golf.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
All right, next question comes from... That's not to say that I don't think it's a great idea, obviously.
No, great.
Yeah, Women's League. Well, we have the Emporia Ladies Open that we have here and we support. So Tyler has a question. What up, Disc Golf Answer Man crew? I wanted to get your take on if you think that some pro disc golfers' game is hindered by their disc choice. I watched the women's coverage of the Dynamic Disc Open and the Preserve and thought that some of the women could have thrown a different disc than what they were throwing, less stable. Paige Pierce has shown that she has an advantage at times due to her distance, and I feel that some of the women could throw farther if they choose a more neutral distance driver. What do you think? Do you think some of the pros' disc choices are holding them back? Thank you for all you guys do for the game. I've got a kind of a sassy answer for that.
Go ahead.
Tyler, I don't know how long you've been playing disc golf, but these top pro women, and I'm not sure who you're talking about, I would imagine, now I'm not saying they would never try new things, because I know Paige Shue that has, well, even when Paige Pierce played for us, she would try different discs, right? I would imagine that they are throwing what they feel comfortable with and what they can do. I'm not saying that you're not knowledgeable, Tyler, and I'm not putting you down in whatsoever way, but it almost feels like when we see, and I've seen some of the women in disc golf where I've seen female players post stuff on Instagram that they've posted that they threw a certain disc that some guys would actually comment and say, "Wow, that seems a little stable for you."
It's their legitimate job. Like, let them do their job.
Right. So again, Tyler, I can't read I'm not reading that tone in your message. So I'm not saying that's about you, but it reminds me of that. And so I would say, sure, but I think that applies to anybody that right. They need to make the correct disc choice to maximize their distance. And I would imagine that most of these FPOs, if not all, have thought that through.
Right. So here's another, I guess maybe not problem with what you're asking, Tyler, but there is a delicate balance between being able to throw as far as you can and being able to control that throw, right? And the more understable that a disc gets, the more difficult it is to control at distance, right? So if I'm throwing a very overstable disc, it's going to be pretty predictable where it's going to go, right? I throw it hard and flat, it's going to finish to the left. If I throw something a little bit straighter, maybe it turns a little bit to the right, and I probably have a bit wider dispersion with a shot like that. If you're throwing an extremely understable disc, for us, like something like the Freedom, I'd have to start it on a lot of hyzer, get it to flip up and ride to the right, and then the dispersion there is going to be extremely wide. And I think that's some of the balancing act that FPO players deal with as well. I think they're already a little bit more predisposed to throw discs that are slightly more understable, but that they can still control, because I think they would still rather have control over their disc than have the absolute max distance that they could throw. I mean, that's just what I think about it when watching them play. So.
All right. See, next question comes from Ryan. Hey guys, love your show. I've been throwing Wnba forever. I just started slowly making the switch to Trilogy. Yay! We need like a. My Echo turned on and go when people want to when they're switching over to Trilogy. I'm looking for a neutral beaded putter. I throw a Star Rhino and love it, but need something more neutral for my circles edge putts. Would love to leave Bogey Nation and grab more pars.
Nice.
Also, when can I watch the live stream on DGAM? So if you're listening to this,
First
Ryan,
of all, right now, you found it.
Yes, you found it. Now, he submitted this question on July 20th, so...
Okay. A little while ago.
Yeah, so if you're listening now, you'll want to tune into youtube.com/dynamicdiscs. We try to stick to the schedule of every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central. So you can tune in live there. Also, just kind of maybe remind me, you can download this, which I'm sure that's what you're doing. You can download this on iTunes or any podcast app. We are a couple episodes behind, but by the end of the day today, we will be all caught up and you'll be good to go.
Yes.
So I'm not familiar with the Star Rhino.
Okay, but he's asking for something a little bit more neutral than the Star Rhino. So I would say your best bet would be the Judge. Pick up a classic one or classic blend if you like a little bit more tack to it. I think an underrated one is the Crown from Westside Discs. Good size bead and nice stability. Not super overstable by any means, but not really going to flip on you, especially not when you're putting. So I would try the Judge or the Crown if you really like that bead.
Also, if
you're willing to get away from the bead, the Warden is really good. I don't know if you've heard about it before.
Stop hawking your Wardens.
No, I don't get any money from them. I just like them. I just think they're great.
Also, real quick,
can we set up a royalty button? If possible,
if you want to be notified of when we go live and have a little bit of fun with me on texting, send the text DGAM to 620-312-3225. Grab a pen real quick if you missed that. 620-312-3225. In fact, I sent out a personal message from Chris Clements. He was wishing everybody a good weekend and sent me a video. Said, Bobby, please send this out to the fans out there. I want them to have a good weekend. So I did that. I'll do more of that, more fun stuff. So make sure you get on there.
Nice.
All right. So, yeah.
As you get to the next question, just want to send a quick shout out to a gentleman named Mason Maxwell. Mason does dies on discs, and he sent me over these two V2 Glimmer Wardens. Now, you may think, hey, those are cool colors, but what you don't know is that these are generally just kind of like that bluish teal color, and he's dyed the rims, and they almost just look like they came this way from the factory. Incredible stuff. So if you haven't checked out Mason Maxwell, we were messaging on Facebook. Check him out. He's got some pretty cool stuff. And thanks for sending these over, Mason.
Earlier in the episode, we mentioned that Denise Cameron and Jackie Morrison. Denise is, of course, part of our team management, and Jackie is our retail store manager here in Emporia. They are running a Trilogy Challenge to raise funds for their event, the Emporia Ladies Open. And that is one of the reasons that a Trilogy Challenge is such a good event to run in your area. You can use it to raise funds for an event you have coming up. You can use it to raise funds for your course, or you can use it to raise funds for more tacos. Whatever you want to do.
Self-preservation fund.
Yes, you can do that. You can easily do that. We have the player packs ready to go for you, and it's basically 3 discs, one from each of the companies. This year we have 2 brand new discs and 1 disc that's in a not released plastic.
Yep.
And then we even give you the prizes to give to them. So pretty much we used to call that a tournament in a box, which it pretty much is. This weekend, though, if you just want to play, you can check them out in Kentucky, California, Germany, Sweden, Wisconsin, Virginia, Tennessee, and Kansas. Wow, Indiana. Wow, there's a lot of places playing.
Super cool.
Yeah, a lot of more flex starts. So look it up. Go to trilogychallenge.com/events. Check out to see if there's one in your area. If there is not one in your area, run one. Put one in your area.
Super chat from Doc Zen, $2. He says, Warden's so good you think there is a bead. Yes, that's true. It will trick you into it. And then he also said, can we donate money if we can't be at Jackie's event? Yes, you can. I would reach straight out to Jackie. You can email her at just retail@dynamicdiscs.com. They'll be able to get that message over to her, and they can help you out.
Tell them that Disc Golf Answerman sent you.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Matthew. I have a buddy that throws an MVP Nitro as a distance driver skip disc. He is looking for a replacement disc. I recommended him to take a look at Trilogy discs. Matthew, thank you. You get the pew. Can you guys recommend a long distance driver that is a skip disc? Thanks for all you guys do.
All right, so the numbers flight numbers aren't everything, but I haven't personally thrown the Nitro.
It's a high speed for sure.
So yeah, it's a fast disc. It looks like it's slightly overstable. It's a 13 speed, 4 glide, negative 0.5 turn, and 3 fade. So those numbers remind me a lot of the Raider from Dynamic Discs. I think you're going to really like the feel of that in your hand. And if the Nitro is very overstable for your friend, I think the Raider will probably fit that spot as well. I've gotten some really good skips from the Raider. So yeah, I would check that out.
Nice. Next one is from Michael. Good morning, DGAM fam. Well, good morning, Michael. Good afternoon, sorry. I have a question about round ratings from tournaments and comparing them to round ratings from league play. At my local course, the last 3 years, shooting par was rated 940. Yesterday, during our league round, shooting par was about 20 points lower, shooting a 920. Any insight on why this is? As always, keep it real, and thanks for all you guys do for disc golf.
Yeah, so leagues generally get lower ratings because there are, because there are fewer propagators, and across the board.
What'd you just call me?
Yep. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Do we have the bleep button ready?
Yes.
We have the new switching to Trilogy horn and the bleep.
And the bleep, yeah.
Yes, perfect. No, fewer propagators, meaning that. Thank you. Fewer. Where are you at?
Oh, boop.
Thank you. Meaning fewer people whose ratings can count toward the overall scores and rating. You have to meet certain specifications to do that. But fewer propagators, and generally they're rated lower than a full field at a tournament. So when those two things go together, you're going to get generally lower ratings. It's the same reason that if you're playing a local C tier and you go out and shoot a 55 one day and it's rated 1,000, and then there's an A tier that comes through town and that same 55 is rated 1015, same sort of thing. You usually have a little bit higher competition, gives you better ratings.
Excellent. Oh, another. Oh no, it's the same question.
Same one, yeah.
Looks like it just
We've had lots of duplicates actually lately. It's interesting.
Ryan has a question. Oh no, he just wants to do a shout out. Any chance you guys would be willing to give you play disc golf or Zoe Andike, Dustin Keegan
some love
for doing awesome stuff, growing the sport in the PNW?
Pacific Northwest.
No, Ryan, we will not. Oh, I already did.
Yeah, those people are jerks.
No.
We
love Zoe and Dustin.
Yeah, they're awesome. And what they're doing to grow disc golf with Uplay DG is incredible stuff. Getting disc golf into schools and teaching people how to play. Awesome.
I don't know.
Two of my favorite people.
Yes, I don't know that you would ever find nicer people or just as nice. The Dynamic Disc Open, I remember I was out getting some photography during some practice, and I looked out on the horizon, and I recognized someone. I saw a figure, and I thought, is that Dustin? Sure enough, biggest smile on his face, come on over and say, of course, doing the coronavirus kind of, air high five.
What's up?
And he was just having a good time, and I was thinking, dude, I mean, I miss people, but he's one of the peoples I really miss.
He's a cool cat.
He's a cool
Same
guy.
with Zoe.
Yeah, so
good people.
Whenever you see them post stuff or do stuff, you make sure you check it out. Let's see, disc weights from Alex. I know that lighter weight discs are preferred for overstable discs due to the ability to be thrown faster and not be worrying about it flipping over and sailing on me.
Okay.
Have you found a good ratio of weight to faster release speed? Wow, that's getting technical.
It is.
Example, the standard 175 gram versus the 160 gram. Do you advise carrying the same disc but different weights to adjust for wind or taking into account the disc action? Woo, this guy's getting serious.
Good question, Alex. You can definitely carry different weights in the same mold. I wouldn't carry so many just to account for wind. In general, a lot of people will like to carry slightly less heavy discs in their most overstable discs just so they can throw them a little bit farther. But once you get into quite a bit lower weights, like into the low 160s like you're talking about, lighter discs are pushed around by the wind even more. So yes, you can carry around some different weights, and I don't think there certainly isn't a perfect ratio of weight to overstable disc. That's going to be different from person to person. I personally wouldn't carry a lighter disc just for the wind. I would carry a lighter disc if I liked its flight characteristics. But I'm also not really planning to carry anything down into like the mid 160s. That difference between that and max weight is usually enough to kind of throw at least my timing a bit. But anything from probably 67, 68 up to 75 is all good with me.
In your opinion, Robert,
yes,
on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most important thing on Earth,
Okay.
1 being like not even giving it 2 cents worth of your time.
Okay.
How important is the weight of your disc to achieving the perfect throw?
To me or to a beginner?
Both.
To me, 5. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to have a super duper lightweight disc, but the difference between 173 and 175 to me is negligible. I mean, it's almost non-existent. To a beginner, 7 or 8. Beginners need lighter discs when they start out, just because they get them to fly a little bit better. It's easier to throw them, and they get more distance out of them. So as you're beginning and as your arm speed is a little bit slower, definitely pay a lot of attention to disc weights and aim to start out with those lighter weight ones. As you develop some, you can mess around with max weight. Even if you don't have a big arm, having a max weight medium overstable disc means that it's going to be a little bit better in the wind than something like a 175 Raider compared to a 165 Raider. The 75 is going to be better in the wind. It's not going to go quite as far for you, but you still get the benefits of a Raider without having to worry about it being kind of batted around by the wind if it's a lighter disc like that.
Yeah. Do you think so? And you've obviously been to enough tournaments and been behind the table.
Sure.
During tournaments, do you think that people? Do you think when? Okay, so let's say the tournament disc is a Raider. Let's say it's a
Raider.
Yeah. And there's piles there, right? And it seems like people have now turned to organizing those discs as far as weight, because it seems to be such an important thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think that has become a thing because it's a thing to check the weight, or it's that important? Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Everybody has personal preference. I mean, so if weight is a 5 on importance to me, color is like a 2. But some people care more about color than they do weight on the disc. So people are going to have their own personal preferences. It's worth checking the weight if you are used to throwing max weight, like a max weight Explorer, and all of a sudden you find a 162. It's probably not going to fly the same as your 175. But if we're talking like 172 to 174, just throw them. Like they'll be fine. They'll be very similar.
I just in my observation, which is I'm a people watcher, I just have noticed that sometimes when there's a stack and they'll say, well, what are the weights? And we'll say the heavier ones toward the back, the lighter one, and they'll go to the heavier ones, right? And they'll slip and they'll say 173, 173, 174, 173, 173. I'm like, dude, after the 8th disc, I think you'll be okay if it's one or 2 grams off of what you were specifically looking for.
I need 173 only. Yeah, thanks.
So, anyway, it's not my thing, and obviously I'm not a professional, so I don't put as much into it. So it's just some observation that I make.
Sure.
So about I can't remember what year it was. I remember that Jeremy Kennedy got an email with a guy offering to play some disc golf in a stadium, and we thought it was a joke. We thought it was funny. Someone pulling a prank, and we were thinking, should we do this? Should we not do this? And Jeremy Kennedy said, I think he was the one that said, I'm just going to go see what he says. Sure enough, a representative from AT&T Stadium wanted to put disc golf in a football stadium, and we looked into it, and we had the first disc golf experience at AT&T Stadium, the first disc golf experience in a football stadium, and it turned out amazing. So much so we went back twice and then looked to put it into other stadiums. Had a blast, had a fantastic time. Well, this year, we're going right back to where it all started, to Arlington, Texas, the AT&T Stadium, August 15th. As long as everything is safe to do so, and they let us still do it, we're making this happen. And obviously, we're going to have all kinds of social distancing measures in place. But even with all that, to be able to throw a disc in a I'm telling you guys, I cannot tell you enough what it. Robert, when you're on the field, and you're looking up at that especially in the amazing AT&T Stadium, there is a feeling of just, this is amazing. And then you're throwing a disc where you're normally outside doing, it's something you love doing, and you're doing it in a stadium. It's amazing. So anyway, we're doing it again August 15th. If you want to get more information, check out our Facebook event page that we created. Just search for Disc Golf Experience at AT&T Stadium, or you can search it at discgolfscene.com. Same thing, AT&T Stadium. Get signed up. There's different levels where you can just either walk around and check things out. You can play. And then I can't remember how it jumps up, but I know that there's going to be a VIP experience where you get to do a little bit of chilling with some of us, and you actually get to do some special throwing as well. Do we know what the discs are? Do they put what the discs are?
No, I don't think we've shared that yet.
Okay, so we won't say that, but we usually have some really nice discs with that. So
yes.
Check that out because it's going to be an amazing time. Next is TJ. He wants to know about maxed out distance. Hey guys, so I started playing about 3 months ago, and I seem to be maxed out at about 300 to 315 with my right hand backhand. I can throw a judge about 250 to 275. As far as I can tell, my discs are all staying relatively nose down. I judge this on being able to see the top of the disc or not. I primarily stay below a 9-speed because I don't think I have the arm speed yet. That being said, what is a good way to increase arm speed? Go faster.
Good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I go to the field a couple times a week and just drive, trying to focus on form and clean, smooth release. So, but how does someone go up as far as their quote-unquote arm speed?
Okay, so TJ, one of the things is that arm speed, it comes with time for some people. Like repetitions are going to be more helpful to you than just going out and trying to throw as hard as you can. As you develop your form, speed will come naturally, especially if you've got the nose down. And that's if you are having like kind of a plateau that your putters were very close to the same as your fairway drivers, I would say you're probably throwing a bit nose up. And that's still something to think about. But if that's something that you're aware of, what I would do when I'm out in the field is, okay, so it sounds like you can throw 300 to 315 with pretty good control. You have to kind of decide what you're going to work on right now. If you've got good control and you feel good about that, go to the field and try accelerating as fast as you can, like letting the disc rip out of your hand to where it feels like I don't even know where this is going. But just try it. See how fast you can get that disc to go. It may not fly farther, but you're going to teach yourself how to accelerate some. Since you already know how to throw in a controlled way, work on that speed through accelerating. Don't try to run up really fast. Don't try to reach back really fast. The only time that you want to be moving fast in the disc golf throw is once you've reached the peak of your reach back and you start to pull the disc in. That's when your arm kind of acts like a whip where it just accelerates through. That's the most important part of getting more distance. So that's what I would do. Go and just work on that acceleration, like slow down your footwork and just whip your arm through fast. Make sure that you're still using good form, but whip your arm through real fast. Don't really worry about where the disc goes. That's going to help you develop some speed, and then you can bring control into it since you already do that pretty well.
So I had a thought, and it's not, I think obviously what you said is excellent advice, but it's all wrong. No, I'm playing.
That's fair.
No. I had a thought in that, is 3 months too early to be thinking about something like this? I mean, obviously we don't know exactly where you're at. We've never seen your form or something like that. I just don't. Is he getting ahead of himself in a sense? I mean, you did say in your advice to work on your form and stuff like that, which is, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Is I wonder if he's getting ahead of himself, trying to. Again, he mentioned how far he threw twice, the judge, and something else. It's like, are you getting ahead of yourself before you take care of certain mechanics? That was just a thought. I don't know the answer to that.
No, great question.
Thought I had.
Great question. I think that applies to any sport that has distance that goes along with it. Like golf is that way. Yeah. You measure how long you hit each of your clubs. Disc golf is like that. I mean, baseball players are always trying to get more power so they can hit the ball, deeper into the outfield or hit home runs. Yeah, that's true. So getting more power, I don't think that's not a premature thought to have at 3 months of playing. But ensure that, control comes first. If you can, especially 3 months in, if you can land your disc kind of wherever you want to at 300 feet, you're going to beat a ton of people. Yeah. A ton of people at your local course. So yeah, if you really want to work on your speed, disregard that control for a little bit. Just work on the speed. But remember how to bring the control back, because that's honestly what's more important.
Next one comes from Mr. Hampton. Notice I didn't try that first name. I'm sure it's Japheth.
I believe it would be Japheth.
Oh, Japheth. Okay, I emphasized the wrong.
No,
I didn't emphasize.
No, you just used the wrong vowel type.
There you go. Learning backhand. I almost exclusively throw forehand and have recently started trying to improve my backhand. I'm relatively inexperienced in disc golf, but was wondering if you could give me some tips for learning a backhand as a secondary throw. I'm very comfortable with my forehand and can accurately throw into the 400 to 500 feet. But
Wow.
some lies are just obvious backhand lies. These would really be the only times that I pull out the backhand. So having a lot of power isn't really as important as being able to accurately throw it on difficult lines that a forehand just can't hit. Any tips would be greatly appreciated.
Sure. Japheth, it's really hard to talk about each of those on air, especially through audio. What I would do if I were you is go to the Dynamic Discs YouTube channel and look up some of Danny's how-to and beginner's guide videos. I think you're going to find some invaluable information there as to how to get started throwing a backhand, how to avoid beginner's mistakes, kind of things like that. And then on Danny's personal channel, I know he has a little bit more in-depth stuff specifically around the backhand form. So that's what I would check out if I were you. If you're just going to use it kind of as a utility shot, I wouldn't stress about, trying to throw it super far. Get to where you can throw a 250-foot backhand as clean as you can, where you can place it where you want to, and then you can lean on your forehand. Because 400 to 500 feet is a huge distance to say that you average. That's neither here nor there. But if you're really that good with your forehand, just having a utility backhand should be fine.
Nice. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm just back from, I'm going to try it like 15 times before I get it right.
Why don't you try it again? You just got back.
I just got back from Alaska. That one works perfect. And as we mentioned before we left, it was because Eric McCabe had designed a course out there, and it's connected to Meyer Lake, which is a resort, the actual course is called the Reserve at Meyer Lake. Meyer Lake is a resort that has, I think, 5 or 6 buildings, and I believe it has 10 rooms. They do weddings and stuff out there. The reason I'm bringing this up is what I'm starting to see, which I think is really cool, is disc golf having disc golf destinations. In other words, people, and they're doing it here in Emporia. There's an Airbnb out here that is rented out, and a lot of people come specifically to play the courses here in Emporia, to visit the store. Before coronavirus, they would come visit the warehouse, and then they would play some disc golf out here in the courses they see on TV. And I guess it's just kind of cool to see disc golf kind of mature that way, that places like these resorts are putting an emphasis on disc golf as an activity they can do. You can do paddleboarding, you can go fishing. Obviously, you can see some of the sites surrounding them, as far as, like, we went out to a glacier one day. They have other hiking trips that you go on. Oh, an ATV tour that I wanted to go on.
Is glacier really even that cool? I mean, it's just ice. Like, I've seen ice.
It was amazing.
Like, we have an ice machine over here. Like, that's basically the same as glacier.
Yeah. I mean, when I get bored, I go out there and I stand in the ice machine.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, wow.
This is beautiful. Look at all this ice.
Nature.
It is beautiful.
So anyway, it's just kind of neat to see, like I said, disc golf mature in such a way that it's become an activity that you can do at places like resorts. So if you know of a place that could use something like that, or you've hinted or you had an idea, you're like, that resort could use it, send an email to coursesales@dynamicdisc.com and let Eric McCabe check it out, because I know he would love to design more stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, also check out meyerlake.com.
MEIER, by the way.
Yes, and soon they will have information out there. Do they have? Actually, they do have. Under experience, they have the Reserve at Meyer Lake, a nice little picture of Eric McCabe, and you can find out more information about their disc golf course out there. And then I'm sure soon they'll have the video and some photos that I took.
Yeah.
All right, let's move back to the questions. This is from Lucas. New 11 or 12 speed discs. Hey guys, I currently have been throwing a sword and a trespass, or as we like to call it, the S word, a lot recently, as they are very similar discs. I don't have a big enough arm for anything over a 12 speed, and I know there is only one understable 11 or 12 speed Trilogy driver, the Renegade. Are there going to be any new 11 or 12 speed slightly understable Trilogy drivers, maybe in between a Renegade and a Trespass?
I don't think we have any on the schedule right now, Lucas. One thing you might check out, this is not going to fit on the understable side, but the Sergeant is a new 11 speed driver from us, and it starts out pretty overstable. Once you work it in, I think you'll be really pleased with the flights that you can get out of it. It's not going to be as understable as a Renegade, but you can get it to ride straighter for a little while or even turn after you work it in some. Yeah, I think that's cool.
As a person that throws, that has anywhere between 2 and 3 trespasses in their bag, may I make a suggestion?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. No, I'm just teasing.
It sounds great.
I know, I'm playing. Grab yourself a Biofusion Trespass.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And get it and throw it a lot. When you're out practicing, every time you throw a driver shot, grab that Trespass and throw it to get it nice and beat in. I believe you will love the way it beats in and stands up and goes straight if you are liking the Trespass flight but want something a little more on the not so stable side as far as a Trespass. I love my Biofusion Trespass.
Just so we're on the same page, I think glaciers are probably really awesome, and I would love to see one.
You'll never get invited to a glacier.
Whatever.
When I buy a glacier, you are not coming to the...
When you purchase a glacier?
Yes, the purchasing ceremony. Next
the well-known purchasing ceremony.
Everybody knows when you buy a glacier, you have a ceremony for it.
That's right.
Next one is from Nick, or NYQ. Sidearm putters. I can sidearm drivers fairly smooth, but putters wobble a lot. Eric likes to call those wounded ducks. I don't use sidearm a lot, but would like to start using it more, especially for some up shots. What might I need to work on to eliminate the wobble with putters?
All right.
That's interesting, and I'm going to listen because sidearm is something I'm trying to add to my forte. Because there's a lot of times where I try to make something understable work, and I'm thinking, man, if I just had a slide arm,
forehand.
a little touch forehand, it'd be nice. So I will listen intently, Robert.
Okay.
Go.
Well, I don't ever throw putters forehand. So.
Great. This is perfect time.
I'm just kidding. I do it. All right. So one of the reasons that it's more difficult to throw a putter forehand than it is like a driver is because drivers are intended to spin faster than putters and mid-ranges. So because they do that, they kind of mask some of that wobbling that you see when you throw a forehand. Because the disc already wants to spin faster, it may wobble, but it's not going to be as adversely affected as something like a putter is because it flies slower and with kind of this rounded edge. So what you need to do in order to... so it's not surprising that you're having trouble throwing forehanding putters as opposed to drivers. I'd say that a lot of people are like that. Something that you should work on when you're throwing slower speed discs is making sure that you have enough spin on them without trying to overpower them. Okay, using too much arm will kind of cause you to feel like you really got to lean on this disc to get it to do what you want it to do, but you don't. It's more of a wrist motion. Like your arm has to be involved, but it's more of a wrist motion and making sure that your hand at the very least finishes out as if someone is standing in front of you and you're just slapping them in the face. Pop. Right?
Can I practice right now?
Please do not.
Okay.
Thank you. You are going to have a natural tendency to roll your wrist over so that your palm is facing the ground once you've thrown. That's going to create a lot of wobble in any disc, but especially a putter, which is less likely to correct after you let it go poorly. So one thing that you can do is when you take your forehand grip, turn the pads of your fingers kind of toward the rim so that they're facing sideways instead of facing up. When they're facing sideways, like kind of this, I don't know if you guys can see on YouTube, but when they're facing sideways like this, it allows your hand to move side to side more freely. If they're facing up, your tendency is to want to, when you follow through, to kind of flip your wrist over to get them down. So turn those fingers sideways and then think about just using your wrist, just popping your wrist. Don't try and throw them much over 100 feet or so to start out. It's just like when you start throwing an ultimate frisbee. It's pretty hard to do, but once you get the hang of it, it's habit. It's easy. So start by throwing them a little bit slower. Don't try and cover so much distance, and then you can kind of build from there. But do not try to overpower them because that's the thing that will make them wobble the most. You did it.
Sorry, I was practicing my
I was terrified that you were going to hit something expensive over there.
Right. I know I can flick at least that well enough. I was scared too.
Well, yeah, there's a can't. Okay, whatever.
So it all comes down to the flick of the wrist. No, it doesn't. I just wanted to say that.
That one's less in danger of being copyright deemed.
Okay. All right, next one comes from Chris. Let's see, Mid-Season Pro Worlds. Why they do that?
Hey, why'd I do that?
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Quick question about the timing of Pro World Championships. World is the premier event in disc golf and regarded as being a step above all other big tournaments and majors. So why does it happen in the middle of the season? World Championships really implies that it's the ultimate goal and test, so why not have it at the end of the season? I understand spreading majors tournaments out in sports like golf or tennis where the major tournaments are all technically on equal footing, but everything else I can think of that crowns a world champion does it more or less at the end of everything. So why do they do that?
We're not the PDJ, so I can tell you.
Yeah.
I will say,
because I would agree to that perspective. Yeah,
I will say I like having it closer to August-ish. September felt kind of late, but it's because we're usually used to July-August Worlds. But I think some of the reason that they pick a month like that is we're more likely to have favorable weather during those months than you would be October. It's probably getting cold in some places in October, maybe more likely to rain a little bit more. If you're going during the summer or early fall, I think that gives you your best shot at having weather that's going to cooperate for a world championship.
Would it make sense to say, and I'm probably way off.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Look like an idiot.
Yeah, okay, that's possible.
I've been watching
What?
You didn't have to be so fast.
What? No, no, that's probably true.
Yeah. In fact, it is. I've been watching The Last Dance, and they were talking about like they were the 89-90 conference champions. Mm-hmm. What if we change it to you're not the 2010 world champion, you're the 2009-10, the 09-10 world champion?
Okay, so they call them that because the season lasts during the winter time, right? So their full seasons go from, whenever they start, October-ish through February and March.
So technically our seasons end
our seasons begin and end in the same year, so that's why it wouldn't make sense to do that.
Yeah, no, I told you I didn't know. I figured that's what it was, that it went through winter into the next year.
Yep.
But other things would have to change other than just titling it the 09-10 world champion.
Right. Well, and it doesn't necessarily solve our problem either. If we play the world championship in March, there's pretty rough weather still in a lot of parts of the country during March.
All right, one last question. This one's from Jordan on drivers. I have loved the Vandal since the Trilogy Challenge. I also started using the Sapphire and love the Crazy Glide.
Ooh. For the guy who asked about 11 and 12 speed discs, the Sapphire. Try that.
Sure enough.
Try that. You'll really like it.
I need to try that too. I've thrown it a couple times. Okay, so I also started using the Sapphire and love the Crazy Glide. The Sapphire flies stable for me, and the Vandal 164 is flippy. I'm looking for a disc that would be in between that I can hyzer flip. I throw on average 300 feet for maximum distance. I saw you just fully released the Vandal. Should I get a heavier weight or maybe an Escape? I have an Escape, but it's in moonshine and very stable.
Jordan, are you ready?
Here we go.
Fusion Escape. Just do it.
Do it.
I promise that's the disc that you want. Make sure that when you get it, it's not like insanely domey. Some dome is fine, but if you have one that's really pop top, it's going to be a little bit more overstable. You want one that's not board flat, but that isn't super domey, just right there in the middle. That's your ticket. You'll love it.
The Escape, I have one Escape in my bag. It's a Fusion, I believe. It's it's not a Dymax, but someone dyed it for me. It was really cool. It's like an American flag. I didn't like it at first because I thought it was too stable, but as it broke in, I loved that disc, and I tend to forget about it.
Yeah.
I tend to forget about this. I'll be thinking about a shot, and I'll be like, Vandal, Mavrum, my Escape.
Dude, it's so underrated.
Yes, it's a good disc. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Disc Golf Answer Man Show. We appreciate you sending those questions. Keep sending those questions in. We will get them on the air. Remember, we have Trilogy Challenges. Go to trilogychallenge.com. Find an event near you. I believe we still have time for you to sign up to run one. So if you want to run one in your area, that would be awesome. You could do a flex start, which is perfect for social distancing because in that way you don't have everybody gathering at the same time. We also have the AT&T Stadium event, Disc Golf Experience at AT&T Stadium. Registration is open right now. We're heading out there We're going to play on August 15th. Going to have a fantastic time. I would love to see you guys out there. Give you, obviously, a air high five.
Hair high five.
Hair, yeah. Well, Robert will do the hair high five.
I won't be there, but if I was.
Oh, I thought you were going to be there.
Not this time.
Oh, okay, so I'll be there. I'll bring some of Robert's hair so we can do the hair.
A locket, possibly.
A locket, yeah.
Last thing, if you haven't joined the squad already, what are you doing?
Squad.
Just do it. dynamicdiscs.com/squad. You can complete challenges to receive rewards. A lot of you guys are doing it, and we're getting some fantastic stuff from it, and you're also getting some fantastic stuff from it. dynamicdiscs.com/squad/do it. Don't do /do it. Take that part off. Just
do it.
/squad.
But don't go to Nike.
Then do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
National Disc Golf Day is this weekend, August 1st. Get out. Take someone that you can safely do. Give them a disc. Let them go play some disc golf with you on National Disc Golf Day.
Yes.
So, all right, guys, we'll see. Oh, hot take. Stay tuned, YouTube, and stay tuned for next episode for the hot take. It's going to be hot.
Please don't ever do that again.
All right, YouTubers, give us a second or two to set things up. Danny's going to join us, and Anthony's going to get his mic set up so we can bring you some different perspectives.
Be right back.
YouTubers, tell me real quick while we wait. Let me know, what are you going to do? Are you going to do anything specific for National Disc Golf Day?
That was a squad question. Okay.
Is it on a weekend or a weekday?
It's on Saturday, so
okay.
weekend. So you're able to get out there and enjoy yourself.
Sick.
I think I'm going to try to play disc golf. I'll be moving into my new place. I'll probably have a lot of stuff to do, but once it cools down for the day, I'd like to get out and play some disc golf. I wanted to play the Trilogy Challenge, but I don't think I'll be able to.
Yeah, cooling down is a big reason why I haven't been able to get out as much as I'd want, because it's still like 90-something degrees when I get off work. It's it's crazy.
Yeah. Last night actually felt not bad. You're unmuted.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. Last night wasn't too bad. I kind of just stood outside and kind of enjoyed it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So Justin is going to play his first sanctioned tournament. Nice, Justin. Are you all ready? Have you watched Danny's beginner's guide on how to prepare for a tournament?
I was going to say, we have the resources.
If not, check it out right after this is done. Do a little search.
Now, if you get anywhere but first place, it's not on us.
Exactly.
You could blame us before, but now it's,
We are blame-free. Bobby, you're getting that sweet ValueNet internet in the new place. Yes, Johnny V, they're coming in Friday. I signed my papers at 9. I'm supposed to meet them by 10:30, and I'm going to get some ValueNet hooked up.
I can confirm ValueNet is sweet.
Yeah, they are very nice.
A little bit of tang in there, too, like a sweet and sour kind of thing, but mostly...
Yeah, it's important to unplug it first.
Yeah. Oh, dang it.
Dig It Disc Golf is going to hit the new Smyrna Beach and try out the 3 new courses. I love that. I forgot what that stands for. Is the day before my birthday. Oh, the National Disc Golf Day is the day before my birthday. Nice. IC22 going to shoot some video pics of the A tier over here in the Grand Rapids. Nice.
Sick.
Good job, dude.
IZ22, if
we can hear you.
If the challenge got accepted, then you're good to go.
Oh, gotcha.
Just go for it.
You wanted to be heard.
But if it didn't, shoot me over a message and I'll get it taken care of for you.
IC22 is answering a question about the squad.
Also, you can shoot me a message and I'll go fight Robert for you.
Well, you won't have a lot to move because
Danny right now.
He'll win, but I'll put up a fight.
Danny Big Flex is coming to help, so pretty much he's going to carry all the furniture. We're just going to kind of sit back and have some of the pizza that I ordered.
I was going to say, if it came to a fight between me and Danny, I probably lose in the reach portion.
We're the same height.
I think Bobby and I win in that scenario.
Yeah, that's
because you're standing there with cameras.
Exactly.
But I carry a little bit more weight than he does. So
Pure
You've
entertainment
also
value.
been to the gym within the past 5 years.
I have, in fact, been to the gym.
Matthew's going to take his nephew out for his first round. That's awesome.
What's up?
National Disc Golf Day is Kyle's birthday.
Sick.
So
That is a good day.
Crystal I lost my stiletto and can't find another anywhere. What would be a good replacement? I love the flatness and the smaller rim of the stiletto.
Lucidex Felon?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most overstable thing that's close. But I would just find another stiletto.
Or
Surely somebody's got it.
Think about it.
Tanner drops it with the every day is disc golf day. Boom.
Dang.
Wow.
Wow. True.
In our face.
So just don't worry about it on Saturday.
Get out of here with that
Just
Saturday.
don't even worry about it. Yeah.
Treat it like any other day.
Playing my first course with water this weekend. Luckily, I brought a
boy.
golden retriever. There you go,
Nice.
Sergeant
Hey, if
Handy.
you're-
Okay.
If you are, hold on, if you're a member of the squad, you can submit a golden retriever testimonial and receive some points.
Sick.
Take some pictures, share them with us. We'll be pleased.
I want to know Chat's opinion about throwing over water. Do you throw a water disc, like one that you've brought to lose? Or, because if you throw it in the water, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Or do you throw your favorite disc over the water? Because you're guaranteed not to throw it in. If
Why?
it's
'Cause
your
you're like,
favorite
I'm throwing this
yes,
hard.
You're like, I'm going to get it
Yeah.
over. I'm going to make sure that this disc is safe.
Okay, so it depends on how much water is on the course.
Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking of Ledgestone. I threw my favorite Explorer on hole 17 and came up short one time, and I was furious. I got it back.
Yeah, that water's not bad.
I was furious.
Yeah.
But if I'm going, like, out to Olpey Lake, I'm taking a trash, like, misprint Defender and Enforcer just to throw for hyzers onto the
I
islands.
haven't lost a disc out at Opie Lake in like 4 rounds that I've played.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well,
Anthony,
watch
you
me.
haven't been playing
I've lost multiple. So what?
I also haven't lost any discs, by the way.
The
Yeah,
reason-
really, me neither.
The way people lose discs at Opie Lake is going for the anti-flexes. If you throw the safe hyzer, you'll get the same score and you won't lose any discs, guaranteed.
I've lost them throwing straight hyzers.
All right.
Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
All right, let's get on with the hot takes.
ready.
Let's see. We ready?
Are you ready?
Yep.
Wait, are you ready?
I'm good.
Welcome to another episode of Disc Golf Hot Takes. This is where we sometimes make stuff up, sometimes we argue, sometimes we beat each other up after we're done.
We always argue.
Oh, yes, true. We always argue. Whether we're
Steal
recording or
some.
not, we argue. So, I am back from Alaska, so I have the floor this week. I actually wrote notes
right.
for this one.
Alaska is credentials now.
Yes.
Does this mean I get to go back?
Right. Yeah, whoever has the
Later,
hot
guys.
take gets to go to Alaska first, and then they can do the hot take.
Got it.
All right, so I've been watching, I mentioned on the Disc Golf Answer Man show, I've been watching The Last Dance, and actually me and Anthony have been talking about it. And again, this is kind of a topic that has been talked about before, not as a hot take, but has been discussed before, and you'll see. And it got me thinking watching the Last Dance. Now I've got one more episode to watch. Hey, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on Netflix. It was on ESPN, I believe, but now it's on Netflix. It's basically a 10 series, and it chronicles basically Michael Jordan's and the dynasty that is the Chicago Bulls. It is an awesome show. I highly suggest you watch it. All right, so at the D-Glow, McBeth was 12 strokes back from first place.
Yep.
Right? After round one, if I look at the scores correctly, round one he was 5 strokes out of the lead.
Right.
And then going into the third round, I believe it was around 10 strokes he was behind.
Okay.
Totally within the realm of McBeth coming back, right?
McBeast mode. Maybe not.
10,
you
10
think
probably
that's
not at
stretching
this.
it?
No, yeah, that's stretching it because, there's only 18 holes. That means the person in front of him would have had to shoot only 7 under. Everyone in front of him
That's
would have
fair.
had to shoot only 7 under or something like that. But anyway, I understand.
That's
what
right.
you're saying.
Yeah. So for the final round, he was just for the final round. He shot a 53, which was 4 strokes away from the hottest round, which was 49. And I can't remember if it was Dickerson that did it. Yeah. I believe this gave him an 11-spot jump to be in a 4-way tie for 10th at the end.
That's right.
Right. Okay. Here's my hot take. Okay.
Wait, was it a tie for 10th? Is that right?
Yeah, it was a 4 or 5-way tie.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
According to UDisc. Here's my hot take. Macbeth not being in the running, not chasing someone down, and not either winning but at least being top 3 is not good for the sport.
You think Paul McBeth not playing well is not good for the sport?
Correct.
Are you saying just this tournament or in general?
This tournament is an example, and if this continues, I believe it is not good for the sport. Here's why. Think of Tiger Woods and
I
what
was
he
going to
did
say
for golf.
that's an easy comparison to draw, yeah.
Think of Michael Jordan and what he did for basketball. He was an international icon, and he brought basketball to the forefront. Even after the Dream Team, he brought basketball, USA basketball, to the forefront in a lot of people's mind. So, and it's not to say McBeth as a person, but McBeth as a person that everybody's like, oh, McBeth, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna have a huge lead and win?
Hang on.
Let me finish. Let me finish my argument.
Okay.
So because there's
But
not
wait,
that.
he said, "Hang on."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you said
now
hang
he
on?
has the floor.
Okay,
Yeah, continue.
So because there's not that tension of will McBeth. Now, if he outright won it, like took it, like whatever, I believe that's a certain level of good for the sport.
Sure.
But him not be doing well and then skyrocketing, I believe brings attention to the event. And then if that continues as a trend, that brings attention to the sport.
I disagree. I think having multiple people in the running is better because then different people are going to have different favorite players, right? And it helps more people because some people might not identify with McBeth. Some people might identify more with someone with a different personality. Like a younger player might identify more with Eagle, or someone might identify more with James Conrad or Kevin Jones or stuff like that, just because of their personalities and their brands as people. And so having those players out of the running a lot is kind of, I don't want to say in my head, it like discourages the people who aren't to change who they are to be more like McBeth, because McBeth is obviously the best. So I think having more players that are in contention and up there just diversifies the the branding of disc golf in general.
Think of any movie or any story. You have different characters, right? But there's always one lead character, one main character. Whether you identify with him or not, you're always going to want that lead character to win, right? There's always a main character. There's always a leading character because everybody wants the number one. Everybody wants to be number one. Even in the Avengers, when they have all the different people, right?
Spoiler.
even
There's
in the
multiple
Avenger,
people in that movie.
Come on.
even in the Avenger, Iron Man was
What?
Captain America.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Iron Man, and Robert Downey Jr. Some people would say was the leading one of the leading
protagonist.
Yes,
Okay,
his storyline was yes.
back to when I stopped you initially.
Hang on.
Yeah, hang on. Hang on. You can't
Hang on?
say Paul McBeth, but not Paul McBeth, because if Paul McBeth weren't there, there would be a new. I'm doing quotes. There would be
Yeah.
a new Paul McBeth.
Right.
If Paul didn't ever pick up disc golf, Ricky would be the one who won 5 world titles. Because he got second, whatever. So Ricky would be that quote unquote Paul McBeth. So I don't think you can say, without Michael Jordan, because now look, okay, we had Kobe. Basketball's doing fine. We have LeBron. Now Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. There's all these quote unquote Michael Jordan players. Now obviously, Ricky isn't better than Paul because Paul's beat him how many times. But without Paul, Ricky would be that person.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying when I say not specifically Paul McBeth, I that's what I'm saying is there's someone in that story that creates this tension and creates this storyline. If it was Ricky Wysocki winning all the time, 5-time world champion, and then the person that says, I mean, Jomez oftentimes will go film Paul McBeth because he brings in the most views, correct?
Even if he's on like third or fourth card.
Right, because he brings in the views.
Yeah.
He's the one that people want to watch. And so even with the, did you say LeBron or Kobe? You said...
Well, it went
both.
take
Right.
a pick. Just what
a
time?
lot of times back in the day, they would tell, how would they give you a reference for that player? He's the next Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's in it, yeah.
So is your argument that Paul McBeth being out of the running is bad, or
Is
Paul McBeth not winning?
But out of the
running.
Out of the running.
Creating a storyline.
Okay.
So in other words, because he got 10th and because he was so low, people still were like, of course the jokes were made. Paul's washed up. He's still a star, but if he continues to not be part of the story, that's not good for... I'm not saying disc golf will fade away,
False.
but it's not good for disc golf.
False. On the Disc Golf Pro Tour's Facebook right now, posted 4 hours ago, the final round peak for live DD Open, which Paul was there.
Wait, spoilers.
Go ahead. I'm just
They're on
kidding.
cars at
Paul-
the back.
I'm only trolling Facebook people right
Paul
now.
may have been at DD Open.
Yeah.
Max max concurrent viewers at DD Open, 16,774.
We did it.
Which
at
is
the
awesome.
Preserve,
Right.
which Paul did not win.
Or
16,000
attend.
Correct. 16,969. So almost 200 more people. Deglow, Paul, attended, not on the lead card, 17,858 people.
Ooh, he brought numbers and facts.
So 1,100 more people.
That's something that we've never had on the show.
Real information.
Nice.
Okay, then I would my argument to that is if it becomes a trend. Now it's unfair to me. For me, it's unfair because disc golf's on a rise because of current state of affairs.
Yeah, that's
disc golf is on a rise on its own.
Sure.
So there's not if you bring in facts and numbers, it's a little unfair. It's a little unfair because we're not comparing apples to apples.
It's unfair if you bring in facts and numbers.
Hold on a minute.
Wait.
No.
Take your logic and stop using it.
You just can't use those right now.
What I'm
Just
saying
now.
is just like when you talk sales numbers, if something traumatic has happened, it's hard to compare last year to this year because if something traumatic has happened, it's going to skew those numbers.
Correlation doesn't equal causation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's going to skew the numbers because disc golf
words.
Disc golf, yeah.
Those are 4 syllables.
Disc golf is on a rise on its own.
Right. Just like how the NBA crashed when Jordan retired, right? Because that's not a thing anymore.
Actually, they again
not raking in millions of dollars.
Now you're going to extreme. Again, I didn't say disc golf would disappear.
You said it would be bad.
It's not good for the sport.
Okay, what is
I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm saying it's not good. Or maybe I should rephrase that. It's better for the sport.
I'm not saying
Maybe
that your
that's
hot
better.
take is bad. I'm just saying it's wrong.
It's better for the sport if McBeth is part of the story.
I want to have clarification. Are you saying it's better if he's part of the story all the time, or do you think the odd tournament where he has that 15th place finish or 10th place finish is good?
I don't know how to put numbers on it. Out of 10 tournaments, I think he should be part of the story. 7 of them.
Okay, that's different.
But this is what it comes down to. Okay, look at if we're talking mainstream sports, when Sports Center or even the ticker at the bottom reports on golf tournaments, tournament leader, first, second, third, tie for fourth, Tiger Woods, wherever he is, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. Same thing for NASCAR. Person in the lead, person in second, then popular drivers. They show where they're at. So while him being a part of the story 7 of 10 is maybe that's what we would desire, that's not how media is. Jomez specifically has made it known they are going to follow McBeth when given an option, period. So so what I'm saying is that I do think it's beneficial for him to be in contention no matter what. I like when we have more parity, when we see other contenders at the top. I love getting to see that. However, for the benefit of disc golf across the board, I mean, it's the Tiger Woods thing. And actually, somebody said this in chat, and I think this is true. This is probably a little bit more apropos even in the FPO field, because Paige Pierce, I think she's transcended a little bit higher above the rest of the field than Paul has above the MPO field. There are, even percentage-wise, there are fewer people who can contend with her week after week than there are in the MPO field. But when those two are in contention, and I would argue that it's more important that they be in contention, be close, rather than running away or way behind. Those two scenarios aren't as helpful to disc golf and the excitement of the story as when they're in the run.
How much more entertaining was disc golf when it was a Paul and Ricky battle? I'm just thinking back, like, what was that, 2-3 years ago? When they were duking it out at every tournament, that was quality. That was exciting to watch.
That's because there was a storyline for you to follow.
Look,
Again, I'm not saying that I like this. I'm not saying that I like to see other names, especially because I have an invested interest in some of these players that I've known for a long time. I beat Chris Dickerson in pickleball, so I wanted to see him succeed somewhere else. He did really well at D-Glow stuff.
Darn straight, though.
Got him.
Eagle McMahon has been chasing that for a while, trying to be on top. He wins it. Congratulations, Eagle. I think it's amazing. But it's not whether I like it or not. It's what my perception and what I believe is that it's much better for the sport. And so I kind of changed my argument a little bit. Not that it's bad, but it's better for the sport if McBeth, because of the accolades he has, because his rise in fame, because he's the highest paid, I'm doing quotes here, air quotes, highest paid disc golfer, he needs to be part of the narrative for disc golf to continue
Right.
to be good.
I
It'd
hate
be good for
agreeing-
exposure.
I hate agreeing with Bobby more than anything in this entire world, but I do think we've got something. That's not true. I hate some things more, not a lot.
Losing in pickleball.
But it's true. I can't rage. Anyway, I'm with you on this. I think that the best athlete in a given sport is probably also the most compelling storyline.
Yeah.
Especially if they've kind of achieved that legendary status, right? That's why Michael Jordan was because he's the greatest of all time. But now we've got people trying to follow and really kind of step into his footsteps. Now they're in front of they're the main story. So I'm with you. I don't like to be with you, but here we are. when he is in the mix, usually when he's not dominating, when he's in the mix, that for me is the most engaging that disc golf gets.
Whether he
wins or loses
is duking it out, and they are just crushing the field and pushing each other and vibing, just going way far ahead. Like
the
five
best
strokes
is
better
what
than
Bobby
everyone else.
started talking about. Like, okay, Kevin Jones is winning, Eagles won back, and Paul's got 5 to make up going into the final round.
Ooh, yeah.
Because then it's like,
that's
who knows?
That's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm listeners, YouTube watchers. How many times have you checked UDisc score and you thought, "Let me check and see where McBeth is at"?
Yeah, scroll down to find McBeth,
Right.
for sure.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's my hot take. Booyah! Let us know in the comments. I'm going to post this on Facebook. Let us know in those comments if you agree. Paul McBeth being part of the narrative is good for the sport, and if he's not, then you're dumb. No, I'm playing. Kidding. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on this hot takes. We'll see you on the next one.
Are we not live anymore, or are we doing an after show, or what?
No, after.
Okay.
I need to put together.
Are you still live, Anthony?
It's ending.